Hey guys, welcome to another episode of EDM News, your number one news source here on YouTube, covering everything that has to do with electronic dance music. This week was actually quiet. There wasn't much going on after all of the ADE and also DJ Mag Top 100 madness. There's just one thing that came a couple of days later, and that was actually Headhunters announcing on his YouTube channel that he's quitting the DJ Mag Top 100. He won't compete anymore there for obvious reasons. Laidback Luke did the same a couple of years ago. They're just sick of it like being so fake, and it's really hard for them to compete, and it's costing a lot of money. And maybe it's also marketing. Maybe they're just afraid that they won't be in it anymore and they just pull out before leaving the list. I don't know, but they're right when it comes to not competing in this bullshit show. But I'll leave it at that. I covered this already in an entire 20 minutes long video, like all about the DJ Mag Top 100, how fake it actually is, and some things I found out during ADE. I will link it up there. Big news this week, actually the 7th album of Armin van Buuren. He was and is always on top. He's like one of the superstars, one of the highest trance DJs, the most famous one. And despite Tiesto turning around and leaving trance behind him, Armin is still playing a lot of trance and like hardstyle kind of stuff in his sets, and also promoting it on his radio show. His album is more like soft, progressive pop EDM, except for his Blah 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 song, the one that made him, like, at least here in Germany, really famous on the radio. It was played countless times. Every time they mention Armin van Buuren, they play this song, which actually doesn't really reflect all of his work. But yeah, a pretty solid album, number 7. Congrats to him. It takes really a lot to stay in the scene so long and actually making 7 successful albums. I wish him the best of luck. If you're interested to check it out, just go to Spotify, Apple Music. You'll be able to stream it everywhere. Next up, Skrillex and Salvatore Ganacci. Salvatore Ganacci, of course, famous for his, let's just call it a dance performance or aerobic. Like he's like, yeah, it's probably the best paid aerobic teacher on this planet. He's doing all this funky stuff on stage. I actually think it's funny, as long as only him is actually doing that. But once everyone is starting doing this kind of shit, it gets really ridiculous. But having like one crazy guy is kind of funny, and he rose to fame so quickly due to him doing all this kind of shit during his shows. He just recently released on Skrillex's label, which really gave him approval for being legit and actually making good music. And he's now probably very likely going to collaborate with Skrillex. Skrillex at least played in London a song where it's rumored that it's the collaboration between the two. If you're interested to check it out, I'll also put a link down below for you to play it in full and judge for yourself if it's a collaboration between those two. Next up, as always, it's time for Jeff to take over the second part of EDM News straight from LA.
What it is, what it was, what it's going to be, YouTube. I'm Jeff Posh. Let's jump right in. Hardwell. Let's talk about Hardwell. So, a DJ producer wearing a mask who sort of looks like Hardwell performed at ADE under the so-called name Mr. X. He played at Sunry James and Ryan Marciano's party. Now, I saw a picture of the so-called Mr. X and zoomed in a little bit, and I'm like, I don't know. Could go either way. Can't really tell 100%. But it's not true at all. His management said it wasn't him spinning, but he was there at SJRM's ADE party just to show support. So since it's confirmed it's not Hardwell, then who is this mysterious so-called Mr. X? Let us know below. Share your thoughts. Moving on. Ganja White Night. Let's talk about Ganja White Night. So Ganja White Night tours this fall. The Belgian-based duo Ganja White Night has leveled up with their new release of their full-length album, The One. The One is the duo's 8th studio release. So if you don't know about GWN and their wobble bass sound, their wonky structure, and their gritty distorted bass lines, you know, all the good shit. And if you're into that sound, go check out GWN. They teamed up with dubstep pioneers Caspa, Cannibaland Records, Apache, and longtime collaborator Boogie T. They also took to Twitter to thank their fans and commented on their new work. So sky's the limit for this new duo. Their tour starts next week and tickets are on sale now. I like to move it, you like to move it, moving on. Carl Cox. Let's talk about the master Carl Cox. So if you didn't know, House and techno are taking over Ultra. Yeah, you better believe it, bruh. Back in Bayfront Park, not only will the 2020 edition of The Gathering see Resistance Island adapted to its longtime home, the Carl Cox megastructure will take place over 3 days for the first time in the event's history. Boom! Although fans have voiced concerns that the Carl Cox megastructure expanding to 3 days could possibly mean that Armin van Buuren's A State of Trance stage may not return, even though the addition of the Code for Resistance may make room for them both. We tried to ask Ultra questions about this matter, but a spokesperson has yet to respond to our inquiry. Coming off his huge back-to-back with Capriati at Awakening's ADE party, he tore the roof off that place, and then he tore it off again, said fans attending the party. Oh yes! Fantastic. Ultra 2020 will take place March 20th through the 22nd. And for more information, just Google or go to the website. You can catch Carl at Supercars Vodafone Gold Coast 600 in Australia. Hey, how many tech heads are going to Ultra this year? Let us know below. Let's keep it moving. Let go. Martin Garrix. Let's talk about Martin Garrix. So at ADE, Martin announced he's composing a theme song for the Union of European Football Association. So the UEFA Championship pits the best teams from each European country against each other to determine which among them is the best. So dropping one spot on the DJ Mag this year and topped by Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike, he's already said that he's made the track for the tournament's theme during a performance at RAI Amsterdam. Neither Garrix nor the UEFA have teased any snippets of the track at the time of this episode. John and I think it's big, but the million-dollar question is, what do you think? Coming to you live and direct from San Francisco, California, I'm Jeff Posh. Thank you for watching this episode of EDM News, where it's one thing I know and it's two things that's real. If you want to hear the real, you're going to hear it here first on EDM News. You know the slogan, one ear to the streets, pulse of the culture in our veins. Let's kick it back to John. Peace.
Huge thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of EDM News. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget the bell icon. We'll see us next week again for another episode of EDM News.